The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch in Wildwood.
Well, good morning. Welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. And we are thrilled, by the way, to have our partners, Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch. And you'll be hearing much more from them. In fact, we get a chance to sit down with Mark Kaufman on Thursday. You don't want to miss that. Guys in your lives will love this place. I'm not going to say the girls don't either, but oh my gosh, the guys go nuts for the tractors, for the lawnmowers, for the e-bikes. Wait till you see what I do on Thursday. You do not want to miss this. And we thank all of our sponsors. Please do me a favor. Look down there below and support those that support us when it comes to maybe health, maybe it comes to dentistry, maybe it comes to the medical side, wellness side, you name it, real estate. We have everything covered for you. All right, welcome into the show. You are in my home as I am in yours, and I'm thrilled to have you along with us. Today, we get a chance to talk about really one of my favorite things, which is faith, bringing faith to the table. And what does faith look like? In fact, this is going to be a very interactive show today. And for you, I want you to think about the circle of friends and family that you have and the discussions that are taking place at the tables. Do we still believe? It's the search for faith in a world that feels very lost in some ways, right? What do you believe and why? Doubt, purpose, hope, truth. We're going to talk about all of that today on this Testament Tuesday. First of all, welcome into the show. If you are new to the show, I am your host, Monica Adams. Thrilled to have you with us on what we call the Real Monica Adams Show, because we want you to be authentic and real, and that serves us better in life, right? So think about that, and then do us a favor and share this show with your friends and family so they can find us every morning, waking up to positivity all over the world. So we are based in St. Louis, Missouri, but we're reaching in other areas of the United States. People in other countries are finding us as well. So welcome on board. Whenever you sign on, talk to your community, because that's the one thing that I really love. Everybody interacts with each other. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're a new time watcher, I love it. If you are a long timer, and you'll all become this because you'll wake up to our positivity, you will have more and more of you that call yourselves Monica's Maniacs, which I absolutely love. All right, let's say good morning to those that are already up and at 'em, as we like to say. Those early birds that sign on as soon as we start, and then the others start trickling in throughout the hour. We're going to go through a little news you can use, and then we're going to talk about faith today on this Testament Tuesday. So who signed on first? Christy, good morning. Linda, up and at 'em and working out, I can guarantee you. Luann, hello. Linda, the early bird catches the worm today in this heat. Oh, wow. Pool clean. Look at you. And a mile into my morning walk while catching the Real Monica Adams Show. Linda, you're incredible. Julie, good morning, friends. Kathleen says good morning. Stephanie over on YouTube, good morning to Monica and everyone. Thrilled to have you with us. Let's see. STL Mel is on over on Instagram. Kelly watching on Instagram as well. We are on multiple platforms, so find the one that makes the most sense for you. Maybe it's Facebook, where my largest audience is. Maybe you're like, nope, I don't like to be on social media. That is the reason why we are on other platforms, and here they are for you. Facebook, YouTube. We are also on Instagram and X, LinkedIn, Rumble, Twitch, and then you can find us on my website, therealmonicaadams.com. We also sometimes will turn some reels and stories, etc., shorts, I should say, on TikTok. And if we have an audience that wants us to be on there more, we'll probably grow that as well. Annette, good morning to you. All of you that are on. Okay, so yesterday, just crazy hot, and you're waking up already this morning in the 80s. It's sticky. It's dangerous, as our aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore told you yesterday. Today, 98 degrees here in our direct market, which is going to be St. Louis, Missouri, to the St. Francis County, St. Genevieve County, Southern Illinois area. If you're outside of our area, if you're on vacation, in fact, for someone that's on vacation, do us a favor, tell us it's a little cooler where you are. It's 98 today, and the heat index. So that means, what is it going to actually feel like? 106. So As Linda said, do your exercise early, get outside, walk the dogs early, or have them run around the house. Don't put them out in this. Their poor little paws burn really bad. You see them picking them up like crazy because it hurts their pads on that concrete. So 79, if you're going to the Cardinals game, it is going to be a hot one for sure. Tomorrow, the heat index feeling again like 106. The actual temperature, 10 degrees cooler than that, 96, but it's not what it's going to feel like. And then into the afternoon, grab that umbrella because we could see some afternoon rain. 78 for the low tomorrow. Thursday, finally a little bit cooler, 93 with a 30% chance of rain. Friday, a 30% chance of morning rain at 93. That's when we'll be visiting with Beckett again. 97 though on Saturday, dry conditions. Beautiful day to be in a swimming pool or out on a boat. Maybe you're going to head out to the Ozarks as you have one final weekend for a lot of you parents before the kiddos go back to school. 78 for the low tomorrow, Sunday, a 20% chance of an afternoon pop-up storm, 96. And then finally, we get into next week, 85 on Monday, 86 on Tuesday, 91 Wednesday, and then Thursday, 92. I'm going to head out to the Muni next week and get a chance to see Something Rotten on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that 73 in the evening still stands because that doesn't sound like too bad of a day as we head out to the Muni. Okay, let's see. Lynn, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your day. So as far as news you can use, Missouri lawmakers taking the first step toward regulating AI. So here's what it means for you. They're meeting today at Lindenwood University to announce upcoming legislation that will target artificial intelligence. And you know, we've been talking about AI for the last couple of years. Where are you in your mindset of how you feel about AI, by the way? Are you a little happier with it? Because 2 years ago, when we first introduced this, there were a lot of people that thought, oh my gosh, I'm hearing about AI and it's scaring me. Okay. Now, do you feel a little bit more comfortable with it? Is it helping you in your business? Those are some of the questions before we get into our big faith talk today. Do you use AI? And if so, what level? Because a lot of people will use it a little bit. And by the way, which one do you use? Do you use ChatGPT? That's what a lot of my friends like to use. Do you use Claude? Or what else is out there? There's Grok. There's a ton. I like ChatGPT for some things, but I don't like the artificial side of it, right? You know, we all like to be real. So again, today, Missouri lawmakers meeting at Lindenwood University announcing upcoming legislation targeting artificial intelligence infrastructure and releasing a new tool designed to help communities across the state have a voice in how AI development unfolds in their own neighborhoods. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. We're talking about kids going back to school. Cahokia Heights students are preparing to enter a new $81 million high school. Yeah, I mean, wonderful to see all of the changes that are being made in buildings inside just to make it an easier place for them as they are getting their education. Okay, what else is happening? Oh my Lord, I got to show you this one. An 8-foot Burmese python found under a couple's backyard shed after it eating an oak. Oh my God, let's pull this one up for you. I've got to find a picture of this. Here it is. I'm going to share this with you. Can you imagine? Okay, first of all, let me just give you a little background. When we moved into our home, which was 10 years ago, there were about 3 or 4 copperheads that were underneath the little underhang where our room is. And I'm like, hey, that night, do you think I slept well? No. I'm like, I can't sleep. What are you talking about? And Jim was always like, Monica, you have to understand, we are in their area, right? For any of you that live out in a wooded area, I get it, but plain and simple, I just said, well, that's fine. It's now our turn to live here. So we had copperheads. I can't imagine something like this. This is the story I'm talking about today, folks. Can you imagine that being, okay, tell me right now, what would you do? I would freak out. An 8-foot-long Burmese python made itself at home under a couple's backyard shed. Animal control officers struggled to remove it because of the meal it had already eaten. Yeah, this is in, let's see, where is it? It's in New Jersey. This couple got quite the surprise, don't you think? In fact, they said the homeowners sent us a video of what we were actually dealing with. And when we all saw it, our jaws kind of dropped. Okay, I massively dropped a little because it is a Burmese python, which definitely does not belong out in the wild in in New Jersey. But as I mentioned, he had just eaten an opossum. The belly was filled with that, meaning it weighed an additional 40 pounds. He had eaten that meal prior to going under there. So because of that size, they couldn't just pull him back out through the hole that he came in. Look at that thing. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. The other big story that maybe some of you have seen in the past, my brother used to work for UPS. And, they're going back, they're getting the packages. He found a huge snake as he went to reach for a package that was wrapped around. It was that coloring, by the way. Someone was trying to ship the snake, and he freaked out. He ended up going onto our local news channels and being interviewed about it. And I think, of course, like always, they're all affiliated with different stations throughout the country. So it made it into other stations. And I could probably find it. When we take a break, let's see if I can find it. But what would you do? What would you do if that was hiding at your home, right? Coffee time, Lynn says. Karen, good morning. Dale Paula Wood, good morning at 74. AI is kind of scary to me. All right, thank you for that. Someone's pet. I know, Lynn, right? I'd have been long gone, Karen says. What about you? What do you say if that made it into your area? Let's go over Iron Rue. Oh my gosh, I hope he's still on. My friend from Australia is watching right now. Hey, Rob. Sandy's Lewis joining it. Cam Jansen watching. Our St. Louis Blues alumni. A lot of people like to pop on and off Instagram, so I'm not sure who I gave a shout out to, who's still on there. Linda said, when we moved to our home, we killed several copperheads. Yeah, now we only see about one a year. Keeping the lawns mowed, our cat prowls the perimeter of the woods. She's our protector. Here's my question. Somebody said, because Jim did the same thing, but somebody said to him that it was illegal to kill a copperhead in the state of Missouri. Have you heard that? Jim's like, I don't care. It's on our property and it's going to hurt our pets, because Adelaide tries to play with the darn thing. Tessa doesn't get anywhere near it. Opus, I don't think, has seen one, thankfully. Linda, I agree with you. We haven't seen a lot. And they always say more activity, lawnmowers, animals being around, that gets rid of the majority of them. Jim did see a black snake, he said, a few weeks back. I haven't seen any, knock on wood. I don't want to. Not a fan. And I know some people are like, oh, come on, I love snakes. I don't understand them. They freak me out, and especially one that big. Okay, that is the crazy story that I saw this morning. Taylor Farms, we've been talking a lot about this in the news. They're recalling their jalapeno products sold at Kroger, Trader Joe's over a salmonella risk. And I know a lot of you shop maybe don't have a Kroger's anymore, but we do have Trader Joe's. So the recalled products include salsa, dips, prepared foods, and it's not just Kroger and Trader Joe's. We're talking Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, Stop and Shop locations in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana. Missouri is in here, by the way. Illinois is in here. There are many others. The recalled products have a best if used by date up to and including August 16th. A full list of recalled products are going to be found in this link that I'm going to drop in for you. Again, jalapeno peppers, but they're in a lot of things like we were mentioning, salsa, etc. Look in the comment section. I'm going to drop it in for you right now. And if you have something that's on that list, again, like always, they will say that you can take it back to the store where you had it for a full refund, or just stop eating it all together. It's just, you didn't pay probably, I don't know, the cost of groceries these days, yeah, you probably do want your money back. Lynn said she would faint if she saw that snake. Hubby hates any kind of snakes. I try to get close because I want to see it up close. Rose, you're nuts. Yeah, I would yell at you too, because that thing can move fast and bite you. Only good snake is a dead one, Karen says. I know. The people who love snakes are like, give them a break. Taylor Farms shut it all down. Right? Iceberg lettuce, our jalapenos. What's next? Linda, we have a huge black snake we see once in a while. Jim says to leave them alone because they eat the other ones. Keep them around. They actually kill a copperhead. I agree. The poisonous snakes gotta go. You're welcome, Lynn, for that link. Yeah, check it out and see if you are affected. Kev Wall, Chris Kissel, Sandy's Lewis, all over on Instagram. Feel free to comment. We are interactive. My Facebook viewers are the ones that I feel are the most interactive. YouTube follows in there as well. Then after the fact, I see some of the people on X. I think they like to watch a little bit more than they like to interact, but that's what we're here for. We're here for interaction. Okay. Let's go into all of you that are traveling. As I mentioned, some of you may be trying to get in one flight before Sorry, by the way, for the little noise. Every time I open up a story, it does that for you. So as you get ready to travel, maybe one last weekend, a little getaway, maybe it's, short little vacation before the kids go back to school, is your airline going to cancel or delay your flight? So my dear friend, Michelle, that a lot of you knew from being a part of the show in the beginning, she went to New Hampshire and she sent me a message yesterday that they got delayed by about 5 hours. So you obviously know what that means. It then delays your connecting flight, or you're going to have a problem getting, especially if you have plans to do something the day that you were getting in. She said, ugh, flight delayed. We aren't getting into New Hampshire till 5 hours later. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, because they have a very quick turnaround. Then she said, delayed again. We got rebooked to Orlando, but now that connection is getting tighter and tighter. And that's when you start getting nervous, right? Well, here's the rundown. All travelers know the frustration of the flight changes like she was experiencing. But here is the latest in a new analysis. JetBlue is the worst U.S. airline for cancellations and delays. Again, that's a new analysis. It analyzed more than 7 million domestic flights over 12 months, from June of last year to May of this year. And it found that JetBlue canceled or delayed nearly 30% of its scheduled flights, more than any other U.S. airline. So if you are getting ready to book, again, do your research. The top 10 airlines with the most disruptions, including cancellation and delays. As I mentioned, on the top of the list, JetBlue Airways with almost 30%. Then PSA Airlines, which I haven't heard of. Spirit comes in third, Frontier fourth, and then American coming in fifth. We're flying American in about 4 months, and I have only had a couple times where I've had issues with them, but their cancellations, 27.42%. Allegiant comes in sixth, rounding out the top 10. Republic Airways, Southwest comes in there at 8th at 23.56%. Alaska, and then SkyWest Airlines. The study does note that Spirit shut down for good in May, of course, of 2026. Delta came out as the most reliable airline, canceling or delaying just over 20% of flights. By the way, this study was conducted by crypto casino watchdog Coinbet. So what airline do you like to fly with, and have you had incredible experiences? Now, I will tell you the favorite airline that Jim and I have ever flown was Qantas. Have you all ever gone to Australia? I said that my friend Rob was watching from Australia, or actually he may be in New Zealand, or I don't know, maybe he's back in the States, but he was from Australia. And many people told me, you are going to love Qantas. Oh my gosh, we did. If you've ever flown on Qantas, tell me about your experience. With Jim being 6'3", you would have thought that we would have tried to fly first class, but it's crazy expensive. I'm like, we can't afford that. So God love him with his long legs. He was in just a regular seat. Everyone's like, you flew just regular, you didn't do business or, first class? I'm like, yeah, we did. And, here you are on a 20-hour flight, and he didn't complain once. In fact, he said it was such an amazing experience. They treat you like you are a king and queen. It's dark in there. I normally can't sleep on a plane, but we did with this. So what's your favorite airline? Let me ask that before we get in to our faith talk today. What's bad, Linda says, is Walmart sells it all under market side, and it won't say that it came from Taylor Farms. Okay, we're talking about the jalapenos and the iceberg lettuce and all of that that's being recalled, but it can. That is misleading. Okay, so market side instead of Taylor Farms. Okay, now we got to look for that. There is a national snake bite group on Facebook that I highly recommend. A lot of good information. Okay. Oh my God. Snakes, Bab says. Lynn, you're very sweet. Blue is my favorite. Not just any blue. Somebody asked me yesterday, what's your favorite color? I'm like, well, cobalt blue. We call it Monica blue now, but it's a specific blue. I don't like navy and all of that, but that beautiful cobalt blue that I swear looks great on everyone. Stephanie, my friend's flight was delayed from Fort Lauderdale yesterday. They got home late last night. What was their carrier, by the way? Stephanie says, I'm flying Southwest on August to Minnesota, and I hope you have no problems. I didn't know JetBlue was still around, Chris says. Well, hello from Instagram, Chris says. JF Stab, hello to you as well. All of you that sign on, I don't know if you know that, but we do. We give you a little shout out. Royal Blue, Lynn says, is my favorite. What's your favorite color? Okay, we're talking about some stories that we say, again, are news you can use. Hey, did you see the movie A Christmas Story? Ted Moore, who played the teacher in A Christmas Story, died at the age of 79, according to a Facebook, but it actually happened last Wednesday. Some of these things, though, don't come out to us until a little bit later on. Oh, Lord, 25 pounds of cocaine found inside an auction storage unit. Can you imagine? All right, let's look at this story. I like this one. Let's just do this together. This is in North Carolina, Charlotte to be exact. An auction buyer discovered 25 pounds of cocaine inside a North Carolina storage unit on Friday. I got to show you the picture of this one. Okay, just like the snake, where you were like, oh yeah, nope, we're not doing that, get out of here. Can you imagine, for all of you that might do auctions, and you are excited about your buy, whatever that may be, you expect to have what you bought and nothing else most likely, and then something like this is shown. Look at this, 25 pounds. Charlotte's police department said an auction buyer called the officers a week ago to report finding packaged drugs hidden among their newly purchased items. Yeah, and probably initially they're like, sure you did. Look at this dog. Look how happy the dog is because you know the dog found that. Officers searched the unit, seized the cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. The recovered amounts, here we go, nearly an ounce of fentanyl, nearly 25 pounds of suspected cocaine, over 3 ounces of methamphetamine. No arrest, fortunately, been announced for them, the people that bought it, right? And police only identified the location as a storage unit within Hickory Grove Division of Charlotte, North Carolina. Look at all of that. And as I mentioned, if you are the K-9 unit officer, you know that you are so proud of that dog because that dog did that fine, by the way, right? It's like, look at all this that I found. I'm a good dog. Okay, let me talk about the Cardinals, by the way. I mentioned it's going to be a hot one. If you're in town and you're going to the Cardinals game, it's going to be miserably hot, okay? You are a diehard. I think the people who go and watch the Green Bay Packers or maybe Buffalo Bills, how crazy cold it is. They're all bundled up like it's this crazy tundra and the snow is falling and they're there watching. You are incredible fans. I'm going to say the same thing for anybody that goes to a game when it is 98 degrees or it feels like it's 106 because that's the heat index. God love you. I want to watch it in air conditioning. Yes, I'm spoiled. 6-5, the Cardinals lost yesterday to the Phillies. It's the same two teams at a hot Busch Stadium tonight at 6:45. And we like to do our day of calendar, National Day of. It's Sons and Daughters Day, by the way. All of us sons and daughters, and we are all that, right? So this is a day for everyone. Today's your day. National Presidential Joke Day. Ooh, we got to find one for you. National Raspberry Bomb Day. Play in the sand. Ooh, I don't know about sweaty sand. That sounds gross. Global Kinetic Sand Day as well. And then let's see if we have anything for Global Day. Nope, that's it. That's your National Day of, so celebrate. And then I also saw, do you play the jackpots like Powerball, etc.? The jackpot is nearing $1 billion after no one won a $905 million grand prize. Okay, for whatever reason, as if even $1 million's not enough, this is when we all go and rush and say, I'm going to win $1 billion. No winning tickets sold yesterday for that $905 million jackpot. So the estimated grand prize for Wednesday night's drawing will be at least $975 million. I've been away from it for a while. I haven't seen anything in the news, so I didn't even know it was up this high. The estimated cash value would be at least $422 million, folks. Jackpots tend to grow as more and more tickets, of course, are sold, but you do want to check your tickets still because you may have won something. So before we take our break, get your tickets or go back to this part of the show. Monday's winning numbers, 6, 37, 54, 55, 64, and that Powerball was 10. Wednesday's drawing will be the 44th since a Powerball pot of gold was won May 2nd when tickets purchased in Florida and Texas split a $20 million jackpot. By the way, should Wednesday's jackpot hit $1 billion, it would be the 15th time that level was reached in U.S. lottery history and the 8th for Powerball. So what do you think? Should we all go in together? All of you maniacs, should we go in together and win together? I think we should go get a ticket. I'm feeling lucky. In fact, the other day, Dot, who's on with us on our real estate shows, I opened the book and I opened it right to the date. And she's like, Monica, you need to go buy a lottery ticket. Like, how did that happen that you opened exactly to that date? And I'm like, I don't know. So we're going to open up the Bible as we get ready to do a little faith. And I'm going to open to scripture. Let's see what kind of message God gives us. Are my glasses crooked? They look like it. Linda says, I usually play in the sand on Wednesdays with my volleyball group, but not this evening. Too hot. Again, any of you that play sand volleyball? No, thank you. Very cool. Grandson is a K9 Leo. Canine Rudy. Well, thank you, law enforcement officer, by the way. That's what Leo stands for. Linda says, don't fly often, but really liked Delta. I agree with you. And Lufthansa and United. Agreed. I have had really good experiences with Delta. And I don't know why I don't use them more, by the way. All right, folks. So Jenny Honey, Boyer Destroyer, Michelle Robinson, hello to all of you that are over on Instagram watching from wherever you are. Welcome aboard. We've got a lot to talk about today when it comes to faith. That's the discussion that we're going to get into when we return.
Most places you walk into, you look around, you nod, not here. You could try anything. Woo! Only 3 minutes in here, I'm already gassed. Check this bad boy out. It's a swim spa. Let's go. This is called the Sweaty Goat. This is where I get my demons out. Whether it's a hot tub, a swim spa, a sauna, or a cold tub, you come in here and you could try it and you pick what you want. That's Spas and More STL. And tell them Cam sent you.
And welcome back to the show. If you're just seeing that for the first time and maybe you missed the announcement 1 week ago today, that's C Media 360. Do me a favor, check it out, C-Media 360 online, also on social media. If you didn't hear the announcement by Afan Wahid and myself last Tuesday, he asked me almost a year ago to come on board as his CEO of a digital marketing company. So for any of you that have a business, small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, maybe you have family or friends that need a little help with their brand from a video standpoint, from social media, from a website, SEO, GEO, somebody helping you beyond AI, right? So have a company, a marketing company working for you. That is something that was the big announcement. So when you saw big announcement to come, that's what we announced last week. If you missed that, I now have the ability beyond the show to help your brand really level up. And I'm super excited about it. So shoot me an email if you're just hearing this and you're like, whoa, I didn't know that your company did all of that. Well, we do now. So welcome aboard. If there's anything you ever want to email me about, topics, guests for the show, ideas that you have, wanting to talk about sponsorship, wanting to be a part of this growing list of sponsors we have, or to do a mobile Monica from your business, which we call Mobile Monica's on Purpose, right? We go mobile. We take the show to you. Email address is the same, info@therealmonicaadams.com. And then I had a charity reach out to me the other day asking if I could do the auctioneering and emceeing for their event later this month. Same thing. That email address will work for you. By the way, coming up on Thursday, I mentioned, if you're just tuning into the show, that we are going to be featuring Kaufman Outdoors. So these are those shows that we take on the road. This one you're going to love as we get ready to wrap up lawn mowing season, and then we switch over to tractors. As everyone starts to get into fall, they're trying to clear things out. Kaufman Outdoors is a place I'm really wanting you to go and check out. Besides the incredible lawnmowers, if you are a fan of motorcycles, they have the Beta Italian off-road motorcycles. I may have gotten on one, you don't know. Performance parts, X-Mark, Bad Boy, Spartan mowers as well. And then for all of you that are looking for those tractors, Bad Boy compact tractors, open and closed cab styles they have as well. And then again, I bet you they have some really good deals on these mowers. So check them out, Kaufman Outdoors. They're located again in Sullivan, Missouri at 141 North Service Road West. Do us a favor and support those that support us. You're going to love the reels we put together, by the way. You know my goofball side. Wait till you see the things that we've done. Yeah, Stephanie said, way to go, Cam. Cam, by the way, we are lining up on a Foodie Friday, and that might be happening next week before he gets really busy as the blues season kicks off. So stay tuned. I'll let you know, all of you blues fans, I'll let you know more about that. Oh, you're playing your mom's numbers. I love it. I would go on, I would go in with you with the Monica's Maniacs. Yep, I love it. Kristen, Annette, Annette says, congratulations. Who are we congratulating? Let me see that. Dr. Shannon. Hi, Queen. Oh my gosh, how are you? Tooth Fairy Godfather. Hello to you as well. We haven't had Dr. Shannon on in a while. Dr. Shannon, we've got to talk. We've got some big Medical Mondays coming up with our dear friend, Dr. Lehman. He will be coming on. I can't tell you exactly everything that's happening, but we're super excited about some of the things coming up for Medical Mondays. Maybe you saw a couple of weeks ago, we had Dr. James Clarkson on from Heritage Hand Surgery with Wallant. You can look that out. It's wide awake, local anesthetic, no tourniquets. That's what Wallant stands for. He's going to be coming back on with us very soon as well. So some really cool things happening in the medical realm and in the faith realm as well. All right, we are at our halfway point. Loved your blessed sign. I feel that. Yeah. That's always above me. Here, let me open it up a little bit more. That's always above me. And in fact, when we moved in the house, we changed all of this around, to our own motif, and changed the fireplace mantle into that kind of more rustic wood. And then Jim had those floating shelves made. That's a wine cooler behind us, by the way, as I show you all this. Blessed. Yes, so very blessed. Each and every one of you that watch the show, you bless us. All of our incredible sponsors blessing us so that we can wake you up to positivity, by the way. So let's get into our faith talk, all right? Are you ready for it? Do we still believe? That's the title of today's show. And boy, for me, on fire more than ever. In fact, that's why almost a year ago, when we had our 10th anniversary, I almost forgot, our 10th anniversary, Jim gave me my anniversary gift and right away said, I went into a direction you probably weren't expecting me to go into. And it was that he had this beautiful necklace made for me. Let me get that, stop that scroll. Do you see that? It's stunning. It's got, I don't know if you can see really well, but all the ruby colors that are on here. So he had it made for me because he said, Monica, I feel that you're more on fire for your faith than you've ever been. And of course, my comment back right away was, honey, I've always been. And he's like, no, there's a whole nother level here. So I have a lot of conversations with people about their beliefs, the difference between what they feel of faith and spirituality, religion. I saw a poll that said we are now in the United States, at least, I don't know about the entire world, but in the United States, more people are identifying as spiritual. In fact, it was 79% of people polled saying that they said that I feel spiritual. I feel very faith-based, but they didn't want to say the word religion because they feel that the word religion was controversial, which I think is very interesting. What do you consider to be religion? Is it in your mind more formed in something very structured? Do you feel it's specific to Catholicism? Maybe it is being maybe Lutheran, maybe it's Baptist, Southern Baptist, you name it. Do you feel that when someone says religion, it's to that extent? Or what do you feel religion is? And then would you say that you are more spiritual based, faith based, right? Do they go hand in hand, by the way, when we say spirituality and faith? When I do my life coaching clients sessions or I'm speaking at these engagements, and I will bring up faith right away. I look at the crowd and everybody's good. If I said religion, it feels like people are, kind of, I don't know. I don't want to get into that conversation because we were raised to not talk about religion, right? So I look back at a little girl and into my grade school, high school, college years. It wasn't something we ever really discussed. Now, more than ever, I see our younger generation, and I'm going to go into those grade school, high school, college years, and then beyond into mid-20s, 30s. And they are on fire for Jesus. You see faith worship groups. You see more and more people listening to our incredible friends over at Joy FM. You see concerts that people are drawn to of music they never listened to before. And why do you think it is? Why do you believe that we are now in this amazing world of a search for something stronger than us, higher than us? Something that just gives us chills from head to toe, resonates with us, gives us hope and belief that we're okay. The search for faith in a world that sometimes feels lost. So what happens when the world gets louder, faster, right? We always say, slow down, be present, more divided. Do you feel like we're more divided than ever? Some say yes to that, right? More uncertain. But the questions inside us still remain the same. And this is why I always say, we're all very similar, but people think not. Why are we here? Why do we believe what we believe? And feel free, as I'm going through this, to say, whoo, this is hitting with me. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling this one big time. You respond in this next half hour to anything that you have questions on, anything you're struggling with, because we're all here together as a community and we are better together. I don't want anybody to feel lost. I hope you found this show today because you were looking for some inspiration. You were looking for some hope. Maybe you're going through some really rough times and God needs to speak through me to you to say, this too shall pass. He's got you. But so often we don't want to let go. We want to try to control the outcome so bad. And it's because we're scared of the unknown. God is asking you, Jesus is asking you, I'm going to take you through this. And yes, sometimes it's going to be such an unbelievable struggle. You're going to question me. You are going to question, why would I do this, right? Maybe someone that you know was just diagnosed with cancer. My cousin, who's in his mid 40s. I just got off the phone with my aunt last night, who I could feel her heart is broken that her 44-year-old child has had strokes in both sides of his brain, has clots in his legs, has had issues in his heart, had gone home, and now he's back into the hospital again, and they found yet another stroke had happened, right? As a parent, you feel so lost with things like that. You see children that are burned, kids that are diagnosed with cancer. In all of this, you hear those things and say, why? What kind of a world, what kind of a God would have a child go through cancer? You walk through those doors of St. Jude. We used to do the St. Jude Radiothon when I worked at WIL, a country station here in St. Louis. And I tell you what, those kids had their little wagons walking up and down the hall, all hooked up to everything you could imagine, with smiles on their faces, with their bald heads. You think, I can't, it's a broken world. Yet they had hope with the smiles. They had hope. And we as adults are grief stricken of, oh my gosh. Instead, they're no closer to God because they're believing God will take them and guide them through that. Sometimes, yes, he takes them above. He takes them with them to the kingdom where we all know it's a better place. But while we're here, why don't we make this the best we can? Now, what do you call this, by the way? Jim has a really interesting viewpoint of what he feels earth and this world is. He believes it's purgatory. It's the in-between before we get up there. What do you think? Matt says good morning and happy Tuesday. All of you, please don't just sit on your hands and just say, I would want to raise my hand if Monica was in front of me. Please weigh in on what you're feeling in our world, because this Testament Tuesday all came about because more and more of you said, I want you to talk about faith more than just the devotional. And I want to say just more than the devotional that we do at the end of the show. It's become that more of you are asking for us to have guests on. And we do have some really cool guests coming up on future Testament Tuesdays. In fact, a gentleman that reached out to me and said, Monica, I had such a broken life. And I grew up in an area that people would give up on me. And, he's in or grew up in the St. Louis area, but said, for the most part, this is an area people don't want to drive through. They don't want to even acknowledge that it exists. And he's like, I grew up in that area. And then he found a better path. And so he very much gives that to God and has completely turned his life around. So as I mentioned, let go, let God. How stubborn are we to not do that? So again, why are we here? You want to answer that one? What do we believe? Okay. Do you even question, is there a God? Does prayer actually work? What happens when your faith is tested? Because I listened to the service this past weekend, and the pastor was talking about how you call on God or you talk to Jesus during the good times, or always asking for something, never saying thank you. Never. I mean, as I mentioned, my prayer starts every morning with thank you for the breath in my lungs, because it's thank you that comes out of my mouth before anything. Thank you for letting me live another day on this beautiful earth that you've created for us. And I get to design my life with you. You give me the pen. You give me the paintbrush. You allow my fingers to design whatever it may look like. When everything that we thought we could count on disappears, that's the hardest part. That's the walk. That's when you know just how powerful he is. You just strip it all down and you bear everything. Your soul is left in darkness, and then you see a glimmer of light, and that's him. That's him saying, here I am. Now follow that light. Come to me, but be willing to go through the tough times, struggle, get uncomfortable, right? So when everything we thought we could count on disappears, who do you turn to? If we don't have faith, this is where I believe it can be such a really lonely and dark spot. Dale Paula Wood says, we recently started going to a new church after trying several, and after our third visit, we feel like we found a home. We are blessed. So that's the thing. If you're struggling with wherever you are, or maybe you haven't even found this incredible community that's waiting for you, do exactly as they are saying. Try different ones. I asked people in the past, invite me to your church. I would love to keep an open mind because yes, I was raised Catholic and I still feel this beautiful connection when I go with my mom. We started going to the Crossing. I would like to get down to the one in Chesterfield a little bit more because I want to be right there in front of the pastor. But they have these campuses. You know, we go to Fenton a lot. They have one in Mid Rivers. They have one in Grants Trail that I haven't been to. In fact, they have an Abundant conference coming up at the Chesterfield and the Grants Trail locations that maybe that's what you're looking for. Maybe that's what you're longing for. You probably hear about it on Joy FM. They talk about that a lot. The Abundant conference coming up at the end of this month. And maybe that's where you're going to get this awakening. Rose said, I don't like the word religion. I have a relationship with God. As a Christian, people always ask how a God allows bad things. Right? That is what you bring to the table. That's when you sit down with the community. That's when maybe, which I have been trying to find the right one, maybe that's where you go to a Bible study class and everybody breaks it down a little bit different. Or do you have one? Have you opened it? You know, I grew up we had a Bible. We didn't necessarily read it. It was what was talked to us about while we were at church. I'm going to get to Bob Bishop's comment here in just a second. But Rose says, as a Christian, people always ask, how can a God allow bad things? He has a plan. See, a lot of times people, though, Rose, have a hard time with that. Well, why? Why do I have to go through this? There are so many questions of why and how can, right? You have to keep the faith. Sometimes it's so very difficult. Many times it is. So we talked about our younger generation, by the way. Faith is no longer a conversation reserved for Sunday mornings. Do you all agree with that? Just say yes or say no. If you believe that it should be kept on Sunday mornings only, which is honestly, when we were growing up, don't you agree? It's about the only time people ever talked about it. They would get up, you would get in your beautiful church clothes, which that's a whole nother show that I will do. And I know God doesn't judge, but why are we not dressing up for him like we used to, like we were taught? People going in ripped jeans and t-shirts and flip-flops. Jim can't stand it. And I said, Jim, let them be there. It doesn't matter. They're here. They're here to receive the word. Sure, we would love for them to dress up for him, but you got to find your way. And as I always tell him, let them be them. You do you. But it used to be reserved for Sunday mornings, right? Or one generation. Baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z. We're all wrestling with questions about purpose, God, spirituality. We just talked about people getting cringe when we talk about religion. Doubt, morality. Talking about our own death is a hard thing, but other people say, I'm okay with it. Family, the future, we all see it in very different ways, right? Perhaps the biggest question of all, though, is this. Are people walking away from faith, or are they searching for a faith that feels real? Okay, let me ask that question one more time. Are you walking away from faith, or are you searching for a faith that actually feels real? We like to talk about being real on this show. There's recent research that I found that suggests something fascinating. Okay, listen, Americans are more likely to describe themselves as spiritual than religious, and large numbers across religious and non-religious backgrounds still think deeply about purpose, experience, gratitude, wonder, and a sense that there may be something beyond the physical world, where some people say, I don't think there's anything out there. Others are, I absolutely believe. I do. I feel those angels around us. I absolutely feel that the discussion, this is another show, that we could come back as something else, someone else. So we're going to take faith out of the box. No preaching, no judgment. No, you have to believe what I believe. This is just an honest conversation about the questions that every generation eventually has to face. What do you believe, and why do you? If you are willing, drop in some comments. I'm going to see Bob's here in just a second. So if you lost, let me ask this question. If you lost everything tomorrow, everything, stripped down, as I mentioned before, bearing your soul, you lose it all, would your faith be strong enough to carry you? Would you lean into your faith more, or would you turn away from it? Let me look. Probably Larry. Hello, Larry. Hello to Sherry. Good morning over on Instagram. Diane, hello to you. Tooth Fairy Godfather. I just think that's probably one of my favorite user names I've seen over on Instagram. What do you say to that? If you lost everything, because right now you're going along, it's puppies and rainbows, you're having a great life, you're blessed as it says above me, but then suddenly it all starts falling apart. It's like that beautiful mountain you are climbing up and it starts to crumble and you get scared. Other people get uncomfortable and they find another path. Would you just all of a sudden start running back down the mountain? Or would you see hope that this path isn't working, this one's crumbling down, let me find my way and guide myself over here. Let me get uncomfortable. Let me try to hang on to this one area. I'm dangling, but I have hope. And then I steady my feet and I find the path and I make it to the top of this beautiful mountain. All right, I just painted that picture for you. Is your faith strong enough to carry you to that place? Again, we love to be interactive, so talk to me, folks. Talk to me. Let me look at this. Bob Bishop says, to me, religion puts the status of your belief system on the basis of man-designed rules for engaging God versus relationship-based belief system, aka faith-based, that your relationship to God is direct between himself and you without man standing between designating how you engage God. In those religion systems, he says, due to original sin, man will manipulate religion to have control and benefit themselves over the interaction. When Jesus paid it all on the cross, the veil separating the Holy of Holy within the temple where God resided was torn top to bottom. An impossible feat for man improving the supernatural message. We go direct to Jesus in our relationship with no longer a man, priest, standing between man and God. Mark 14, verse 6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Love it. And I know Bob has really found his path. Bob's told me stories in the past about how things were torn away and kept leaning in more. Excuse my big thumb typo, I never proofread. It's okay. Look, see, I made my way through all of that. Bacalabar over on Instagram, good morning to you. What do you have to say? See, this is when people ask me, Monica, we want you to do more Testament Tuesdays. And then it's interesting, when we do them, how people feel, are they going to get judged by what they believe? Are we still in the mindset that we can't talk about this? As I mentioned, I think we're doing much better. I think that we now are bringing God back to the table, which is a really beautiful show that we've done in the past. Look that one up on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, is where the majority of our shows are still in existence. You know, Meta gets rid of shows after 30 days. So if you're looking for past shows that we have done, go to the YouTube page to find out more. We're talking about faith and interacting, right? So I asked, if you lost everything tomorrow, would your faith be strong enough to carry you? Do you believe faith is something that you're born with? This is a good question. Do you believe you're born with it? Do you believe you're taught it? Or it's something you discover? My answer is, I believe that we are taught it at a young age, and then we find our path. So I was raised Catholic, had that incredible foundation. My mom is a devout Catholic, and I just love how on fire she is for God. I started to want to find different paths, which I do believe is a more spiritual path. I love non-denominational. I love that I don't feel the terror that a lot of people do, where they feel judged because they may say that they are, again, religious. I love going to a Catholic church. I love going to a non-denominational church. I love to go to a Lutheran church. I love to just open my mind to what others are thinking. So drop a comment in right now. Do you believe faith is something you're born with, taught, or something you discover? Okay, just say born, taught, discover. Put those words in for me. Let me ask this. Can someone have faith without belonging to church or an organized religion? Absolutely. My answer, absolutely. What's the difference between being religious and actually having faith? That's the big question of the day. Because a lot of you say that you believe that religion is an organized component and that faith is something within. Raised Catholic, and my mom is a duplicate of your mom's, Lynn says. Okay, let's see. I want to hear from more of you. Why do people often find God when they're at their lowest, but forget him when life is good? So I don't know about that. So sometimes, let's go into this one a little bit deeper. I believe that you show up with him when life is good. I think it's more of that. You should be thanking him. But do you feel that we forget him when life is good, that we all of a sudden get what we want and we just don't say thank you to him, that he actually provided that for us? I think sometimes when we're at our lowest, I don't know that we reach out for him. And that's when he wants to. That's when all that silence is happening and the dark hours are there. And that's when he wants to whisper to you and he wants you to listen. Can you have faith if you've never experienced doubt? Can you truly have faith if you've never experienced doubt? Because we should be challenged. It should not be that everything's so easy. You know, some people say, well, some people have it easier than others. How come I have to go through so much? I've heard many people say, why am I born under a black cloud? Why does all this have to happen to me and not happen to this person? Right? We should never wish ill on anyone else. I get that human mindset. Okay, Cindy says taught, but then becomes your decision to discover and follow. I like that. Karen, raised Catholic. Rose says, I love my church. I've attained some special friendships. Love my church family. We went church shopping. Yep. We knew this was our new home. I can't do life without my Savior. My husband brought me to God. There it is. I was raised Catholic. Faith came to me much later in life. Lynn says, sad that Catholics during my grade school years did not stress reading the Bible. My mom says we did. Okay, I'm going to agree with that. I don't remember reading either. And so that is the thing I think that is very, very different is breaking his actual word down. And maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but that's why Bible studies exist. And sometimes it's everybody coming together. Sometimes it's a men's group. Sometimes it's a women's group. Are you in one, by the way? If so, maybe drop it in. Welcome other people in because maybe that's what they're looking for. So we're talking about doubt. And can you truly have faith if you've never experienced it? But how about doubt? Is doubt the enemy of faith or can doubt actually strengthen it? I believe it can strengthen because you are questioning. You are inquisitive. I think if you have doubt that you're seeking out more, you're seeking the community, you're seeking for people to come to the table that maybe challenge your mindset. Lynn said we just went to Mass daily. Yep, exactly. In Catholic school, I'm sure. Did previous generations teach faith? Because we're talking about how we didn't read this. Did they teach it properly? Or did they simply teach us to follow tradition, what they knew? And it gets handed down until someone says, find your path. This is my belief, right? As a parent or maybe a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, maybe you're in charge of taking care of those kiddos. You tell them, this is what I know. It's not the end all be all. This is what I know. This is what I've been brought up knowing. But please take this as your foundation. And then just like you take your kids and right now they're getting ready to go back to school, let them find their path. You have to eventually let them fly out of the nest. And I know it's scary. Give them the foundation. Let them find their hope. Why does Gen Z seem to be questioning traditional institutions, though, while still searching for meaning and spirituality? That's what I find a lot. And we need to do our generational talk again, and maybe we'll bring that one up. Again, Gen Z, from everything I'm seeing, seems to be questioning traditional institutions, but they are still searching for meaning and spirituality. Much more spirituality we're finding in the research. Younger generations can absolutely teach older generations about questioning faith because they are unapologetic, and that's what I think is so beautiful. Terry, good morning to you. She said, taught and then discovered. I believe finding your people that are present in the moment during difficult times and changes help pull you through the bad times, help you feel, good word, Terry, and find hope. By the way, miss you. Hope you're doing great. Rose, don't put God on the shelf when life is good. Amen. Stephanie, we were taught faith when we were young. We started going to religious instructions in grade school to be confirmed. She says, I'm Lutheran. I love my church and my church family. Dale Paula Wood, I believe that you discover your true faith. I have had so many ups and downs and feel that I had a guardian angel. I also believe that angels walk among us. Oh, 100%. And for those of you that don't, it's okay, by the way. I feel my dad around me all the time. And Jim's mom and dad will show up. I was driving in the other day and there was nothing whatsoever that I was even remotely thinking of or seeing that should have had my dad pop up. And there he was. And I was like, you know, we believe that when we think of them, that they're around. That's our belief. And again, as you hear me saying this, you and I may not agree, and that's okay. We need more and more of us to say, so we think a little different. We look different. In the end, the kindness is what bonds us. Bring more of that to the table and listen more. Be present. Our way is not always the right way. Be okay with that. It's the stubbornness inside of us, right? That says, no. This is how I was brought up. This is how it has to be. No, it doesn't. Listen more. Think about that. Stephanie, I'm glad my mom and dad took us to church. Cindy says, I felt I was taught to be Catholic, but discovered God at a Methodist. and continued my faith at non-denominational and Methodist when I was in Florida. See, you found your own path, right? So we can help you, by the way, if you are struggling. Down below, you can see physically, mentally, spiritually. What do I mean by that? Personal training, life coaching. I've been doing that for almost 25 years now. And if you are struggling, let me know. It's harder and harder with my schedule to do more one-on-one coaching, but maybe it's group. Maybe we form our own Monica's Maniacs Bible study group. I love that idea, by the way. I will tell you that more of you are asking me to bring my retreat back to the table, which is called Faith in the Fields. And then when it gets cold, from the fields to the fire, getting around a fireplace and huddling in together. The question I have is, do you want that to be something that is a day retreat, or do you actually want it to be a weekend? Because I have found a place that I'm thinking of holding the retreats. It's down south. That way we have people that are south, and then I have one out west. So Cottleville and Peevely, Missouri. And then we're looking, somebody told me last night, oh my gosh, there's this place that's about 7 hours away. It is a perfect place for one of your retreats, but it's 7 hours away. And I said, oh, don't let that get in the way. We will travel together. I don't even want us to stay in the United States. I want us to travel to other countries. I would love to impact. I would love to do mission work. This is what's on my heart. What about you? Are you feeling called to do more? That's God whispering to you, by the way, saying, come along with me. Let's do the work together. So I do believe that younger generations can teach the older generations because they are unapologetic, where I believe the older generations, and I will include some of us in that, and then all of you baby boomers, the silent generation, etc. I don't know why you didn't talk about your faith. I don't know. And I would really love to know that answer, by the way. Why do you think that generations before us, and maybe the generation you're even in, depending on how old you are, why do you think that you didn't talk about it in the past? And are you okay to talk about it now? I can see some of you are, which I love. I'm in 2 Bible and book groups with other sisters in Christ, and I absolutely love it. Rose, amen to that. Jim's been talking about wanting to find a men's group. The problem is a lot of them meet throughout the week, and they meet like around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Clearly, he can't do that. He's out there saving the world with his hero cape on as a police officer. But when he retires, I'm hoping he finds that. He's got his Bible. I have mine, and I love it. On a Sunday morning, it's him grabbing his coffee and then immersing himself in that. Saturday morning, Sunday morning as well. Otherwise, he's pretty much just getting up and racing out to work. He might be doing it in the evening. I don't get a chance to see that. He does go to bed long before I do, and I'll see him on his phone. So I don't know. I don't know if he's seeking more faith. It's beautiful when we see our men, because men were also, beyond the fact that generations were told not to talk about it, we also were told that men weren't supposed to even ask questions or talk about their feelings, because they were taught by other generations that showed a sign of weakness, to show emotions. I personally feel that is unbelievable strength, and I'm glad that the men now in younger generations are teaching themselves and younger sons, daughters, etc., to absolutely show emotion, to absolutely show and speak about their faith and speak about the fact that they're not okay, right? I'm going to really say that that goes back to about 6 years ago. During the pandemic, we all believe that it became, we're not okay. This is not okay. That mental strife that we have. People started talking about it. They realized that others looked and sounded just like them. And suddenly, what in the world happened? We have a world where we are better together. Why, oh, why didn't it happen decades ago? We can question that, but let's not stay in the past. Learn from it, carry it forward, be right here, present now, and make the world better together, right? So if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about faith today. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love these Testament Tuesdays. And sometimes we have guests. Today, I'm at home, in your home, my home. We're coming together. We do have some really beautiful guests coming up on future Testament Tuesdays. I'll tell you about in just a second. So I'm going to ask the older generations, because we just said that we can learn from younger, but what can older generations teach younger about perseverance, about sacrifice, about belief? Can we stop, though, degrading the younger generation and saying that they're lazy and they're entitled and they don't want better for our world? They do. They can't be lumped in together. That's a bullying mentality, I believe. Rose says it's important to me to have a man of faith. Absolutely. Karen, good morning. I stopped going to church because I can't handle the music that came with the loss I had, but I pray every day. Interesting. We took my mom to the crossing, and my mom has hearing aids, and she thought the music was too loud. She literally walked in. I thought she was walking into a concert, which they've turned into that, right? It's like you're at a concert before you actually hear the word of God. She was like this as she walked in. I'm like, just take those your hearing aids out, Mom. You can still hear. She's like, it's too loud, Monica. Let's see. AHTV Net. Good morning. Oh, is this ATV? ATV. Good morning to you, Andre, or whoever is watching from over there. Good morning. We're talking about faith today. Got a lot of you on all of our platforms. So again, what can our older generation teach our younger generations about perseverance and sacrifice and belief? Are parents, by the way, still passing faith to your children, or are children finding their own paths? I hope that it's a mixture. Again, we were brought up with a foundation and then absolutely found my own path. Do you think that's still happening? Or are kids actually showing their parents, hey, this isn't something we grew up with, but we need this? And maybe it's the other way around. Let's talk about social media, by the way. Has it strengthened faith by connecting people? I think so. I follow so many people that are just screaming their love for faith. And so I think it's been really, really great. I know people knock social media, but has it strengthened faith by connecting us, or do you believe it's weakened it by creating endless comparison and outrage, right? The jealousy, the envy. You have to see through that, and you find the people you want to follow. I think that's the beautiful thing about social media. Just like in life, you find your groups, you find where you belong. Follow the people that serve you. Again, why did I walk away from the news? Because I believed it was negative. We didn't do enough that served you. We didn't have enough positive stories. I hope that's changed. I've been gone for almost 3.5 years now. I haven't turned the news on in a long, long time. I think there are some that are doing better than others, and I hope they continue to follow. Or look, they're not going to exist. We see the way of the newspaper going away, magazines going away. Digital is now, streaming is now the components that we find our information. It's always evolving, and it needs to be. Can faith survive in a generation that questions everything? What do you think? Can it survive? I think so. It can struggle, but again, the greatest rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. That's my phrase. That's what I want to be remembered from. Okay, so here's some questions that I want you, not today, you don't have to. If you want to, sure, drop in a comment. If not, if you're one that journals, pick that journal up, grab your pen right now, because I have some questions that I think is going to go deep into your heart, your heart and your soul and your thought process. And then maybe afterwards you sit with it. Maybe you reach out to me, info@therealmonicaadams.com, and you say, that one, Monica, that one resonated with me. Maybe you start to talk in your Bible study groups like Rose was talking about. Maybe you form one. Maybe you get your community talking. So here are the questions I'm going to give you that we are going to wrap up with today. If God is good, why does he allow terrible things to happen to good people? I hear that question all the time. People come to me with my strong faith. That is the number one question. That's the number one that I'm going to put on your journal today. If God is good, why does he allow terrible things to happen to good people? Because when we go into church, you go into a gathering, maybe you go to this conference where faith is the headline, you know not everybody there is in a good mindset. There are people who walk in that are so downtrodden, so distraught, but see, there's a glimmer of hope, and they wouldn't have walked in the doors if not. And they're upset about the way their lives look. And they do have that question. If he's so good, then why does he allow terrible things to happen to good people? That is a question that's not going to be answered so easily. You have to dig down deep into that one. But I believe it is us being taught, and I don't actually think it's coming from him, right? We have the good, the evil. We have Satan, or people call him the enemy. I believe that's where the terrible things come from. And he's asking you, come to me more, children. Come to me more. Believe in me. I will take you out of that darkness. Also, though, I will take things away from you because I don't think they serve you, and I want you to focus on something else. Again, these are my beliefs. What do you say to this? Can you believe in God and still be angry with him? Yes. Sure. It's just like your spouse. Today, you don't like him so much. I love you. I don't like you today, right? It's the same mentality. We can believe in God and still be angry. Why? Why did I lose my dad at such a young age? I wasn't so angry, upset. Why? Why didn't he get a second chance? Why didn't we find the cancer earlier? Why didn't he turn his life around? Why does this? Why does that? Why does that? We have so many questions. That's great. Bring it to the table. Does God answer every prayer? I think in some way, eventually, maybe not in our time, or do we sometimes misunderstand what the answer looks like? Ah, did you get a chill there? It's not the answer you were looking for in the time that you were expecting it to happen. It happens. Sometimes you dismiss it altogether. You're not present. You don't even see the glory and the blessing that is right there in front of you. What happens to faith when the prayer you've prayed for years still hasn't been answered? In your time is what you're looking for. Can someone be a good person without believing in God? There's a lot of good people out there, right? We hope that they find faith. I still think they can be good. They can be a kind person, but they're questioning at this time. I think they still can, right? These are the questions we came up with for you. Can someone claim to have faith while treating people terribly? Ooh, that's one of the hardest questions. I don't know why we treat people with anger. I don't know why the kindness doesn't come out of each and every person. During the time that you're struggling, I understand that you don't feel like treating others with kindness. But I think if you continuously treat somebody horribly, I think you are covering up something. You're setting up this wall because you don't want people to truly see you. Again, this is my belief. And I also wonder if religion sometimes has pushed people away from God rather than toward him. They hear the word religion and then they have an aversion to it. So then just change the word. Change the outcome. Say it's faith. Say it's spirituality, even if it is still religion. So is faith about certainty or trusting when you don't have certainty? It's all these questions we have together. Stephanie said our young seminary student did our sermon on Sunday. He did a great job. I heard his message. And that's the other thing is, are we actually hearing what's in front of us? I stopped going to church because I can't handle the music that came with the loss I had. Yeah, Karen lost her soulmate. And sure, she could question, why in the world would you take him away from me? Lynn says the beat of the music tones are similar throughout various non-denominational churches. I feel the need to find something between being Catholic and a non-denominational place. That's what my mom would say, right? My mom would want that organized feel of Catholicism and those beautiful chants and hymns. And then you go and you're hearing a rock concert right in front of you. That was a disconnect for her. Well, hi, Gwen. Good morning to you. I was dropped off at church and really did not get it until my late 20s. It was not discussed, but I think people are more open about it now, right? Unapologetic. Lynn, those are two separate topics regarding my comment above. Yes, right? There's so many in today's show. Chef Bailey, hello. We're going to feature you on Friday. Hello, Abby. Abby and I are so right there, right? We feel the same. My dear friend Britt and I, Sherry and I have some incredible sisters in Christ. We have so much planned. Again, the Faith in the Fields retreat is coming back. The Fields to the Fire, the On the Road, the taking our message out, speaking more of this to every generation, because that is what we need. So I'm going to give you some personal questions. Who was the person who first taught you what faith looked like? And are you angry with that person? Or are you happy? I'm happy. My foundation was laid, and then I just took it from there. And again, he continues to guide me because I ask, because I don't dismiss him. Was there a moment in your life when you knew you couldn't do it alone? We can't. We cannot do this life alone. There's a reason we want community, friendships. There's a reason we want a partner. We're drawn to that. We're not good alone. But sometimes we have to strip it all down and sit with our fear and ask him to take it off of our plate, but literally let go and let God. Have you ever prayed for something that changed you? Oh, so many times. Even though the situation didn't change. You wanted it so bad, you never saw it coming. And then all of a sudden he gave you a greater blessing. You thought you wanted that. He knew you wanted something else. And so he gave it to you. It just looks like a different package than you wanted it all wrapped up in a pretty bow. So what's the hardest thing you've ever had to trust God with? Think about these things as you journal today. Open up your soul, cry, get emotional, laugh. It's what we're meant to do. Have you ever lost your faith so much? What happened to you? I want you to come back to the table. He's waiting for you. Or what brought you back for those of you that were so lost? If you could ask God one question, right, by the way, and know you would get an answer, what would you ask? That's my favorite question I'm going to leave you with today. If you could ask God one question and know that he would give you the answer, which, by the way, he does give you the answer, but we're stubborn. We try not to listen to it. He's giving us answers every single day. But you're actually looking for it in a different way, a different form. So if you're looking for it, you're asking him. You can only ask him one question. Here he is right in front of you. We're delivering it right there. If you could ask it, Here it is. Here's my question, God. And he is the one that's receiving your question. What would that question look like? And by the way, when we die, what do you hope that you have left behind? We all talk about our legacy. So when everything else is stripped away, this is the final moment before I open up and God's going to deliver us the scripture he wants us to read today. When everything else is stripped away, your money, your career, your possessions, your accomplishments, even your reputation, what do you believe is left? That's when you get raw. That's where the faith is. That's where I'm meeting you today. Take it all away. We just talk about winning the lottery, right? Those $1 billion or the $1 billion that you might win, what would you do with it? I would want to help so many that are in strife. I would want to help so many charities. It's not the worldly possessions. It's not the material things. Sure, I like pretty things. I love fashion, as you all know. I love a pretty house. I love a really cool car. But in the end, is that what people are going to remember me for? Or are they going to say, oh my gosh, she's not here anymore. All she wanted was this world to be better. That's my legacy. My legacy is kindness. My legacy is to teach you your worth or your value. Know your value. Be kind human beings. And then when you're not here anymore, everyone's talking about that's all you wanted for the world. That's what you wanted, not all. That is what you wanted. Let that silence sit with you. Follow it. Is this enough? Do I need more? Am I yearning for more? So folks, this isn't about this religion or that religion. What are you putting your faith in? And what happens when life completely tests it? Because when we're tested, that's where that incredible power happens. That's when everything that's stripped down, it is the most beautiful place when you lose it all. And all you have is yearning for the good Lord above. Please guide me. I'm just surrendering. It's a hard thing to do. Surrender. Let him guide you. It is such a beautiful place. I'm telling you, he has so many incredible gifts for you. No, you're amazing, Lynn. You're amazing. Oh, my question makes me cry. And that's okay, by the way. All right, what do we think he's going to deliver us today? It always is a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, ready? We're going to count 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, stop. Okay, he's taken us to I just got to chill. I don't know why. He's taken us to 2 Chronicles 7 and 8. I'm going to go straight to 8. Solomon's later building projects. At the end of 20 years during which Solomon had built the Lord's temple at his own place, Solomon had rebuilt the cities Hiram gave him and settled Israelites there. Solomon went to Hamath Zobath and seized it. He built Tadmor in the wilderness along with all the storage cities that he built. He built Upper Beth Horon and Lower Beth Horon, fortified cities with walls and gates and bars. You hear the message? He is building this up. All the storage cities that belonged to Solomon, all the chariot cities, the cavalry cities, everything Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem, Lebanon, or anywhere else in the land of his dominion. As for all the peoples who remained that were not from Israel, their descendants who remained in the land after them, those the Israelites had not completely destroyed, Solomon imposed forced labor on them. It is this way today. But Solomon did not consign the Israelites to be slaves for his work. They were soldiers. They were commanders of his captains, commanders of his chariots and his cavalry. They were King Solomon's deputies, 250, who supervised the people. Right? We're talking about a coming together of community. Solomon brought the daughter of Pharaoh from the city of David to the house he had built for her. For he said, quote, my wife must not live in the house of King David of Israel because the places the ark of the Lord has come into are holy. Public worship, establishing at the temple. As for you, if you walk before me as your father David walked, doing everything I have commanded you, and if you keep my statutes and ordinances, I will establish your royal throne. As I promised your father David, you will never fail to have a man ruling in Israel. What do you hear in all of that? Because some people are listening to that going, I don't understand. I hear building up. We will build up together. Together, what did I say earlier? We are stronger together. We will build this up. We will continue to have thrones. What do the thrones look like? To me, it's an amphitheater to come together and listen to the message. It is not, let's build up because we're trying to be fancy and, oh my gosh, we need marble, we need this, it needs to be extravagant. Instead, This is why I love people reading the Bible together, because it is, what did you hear in that? We all hear different things, and that is a good thing, by the way. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed today's show, this Testament Tuesday. And by the way, thank yourselves for tuning in. Thank these people below. Dr. James Clarkson with Heritage Hand Surgery. R.A. Ginner Plumbing, I'm going to tell you about in just a second. The E-Step Law Firm, The Porch in Wildwood, Kaufman Outdoors, Children's Legal Nurse Consulting, JG Optimal Wellness, Spas and More, Defiance Ridge Vineyards, which by the way, we'll be doing Wet Your Whistle from at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Dot Fleshman Realty, Garden View Care Centers. I'm going to the O'Fallon location in about an hour and a half. Exist Stretch, Fenton Family Dentistry, all of them. Your name can be right there on the screen because you want to put your brand, your positive brand, with our positive brand. I just mentioned I was going to talk about R.A. Ginner. They are incredible. And I am saying right now, if you have problems at your home or at your office and you're like, oh, I needed a plumber, R.A. Ginner Plumbing Company, 7244 Gravois Avenue. It's 314-752-9850. You can check them out online as well. It is GinnerPlumbing.com. G-U-I-N-N-E-R. GinnerPlumbing.com. We want to welcome them, by the way. They are our newest sponsor, along with Heritage Hand Surgery. And again, that's in Michigan. So when we tell you that we have this message of positivity, this message of hope and faith going beyond our main area, which is St. Louis, Missouri, where I grew up and where my majority of my TV and radio career have been. We are now reaching in other cities, other states. We want to be all over the world, that all of us together can wake up to positivity and hope and faith. Today's show has been all about this. Do we still believe? Boy, I hope so. And if you're lost right now, that's okay as well. No one is judging you. If you're looking for some shopping to do to get out of the hot weather, how about you stop by the Porch in Wildwood? Go to 16957 Manchester Road. Maybe stop by there today. Stop in and say hi to Jan Kaufman and the team. Say hi to Nicole. They do some really beautiful work, by the way. If you haven't been, take a look. The porch, just absolutely beautiful from the outside to the inside. And when you are thinking, I'm transitioning from summer into fall, boy, these things look gorgeous in there, but I don't even know how to put it all together. That's okay. She's got you, right? She'll hold your hand through it all. Not just things for your home, but how about the beautiful purses? They have jewelry there. They have candles there. They have things for men and women alike. Stop by the Porch in Wildwood today. I am hoping you had a chance to see the show that we did on them just a few weeks back. But if not, I'm showing you just some, and I do mean some because they're always getting something new in. But maybe you didn't know, yes, that they had jewelry. They have also the ability to do interior design work for you because she's been an interior designer for about 3 decades now. A lot of beautiful brands that I know you're going to like, whether it's the dining room, maybe it's the kitchen, which by the way, is probably one of my favorite areas. See that right there? Those are pizza and ice cream and servers. Yes. Right there. That's the one that we just bought, by the way. So that one's not there anymore. ThePorchWildwood.com. Stop by there today. I just mentioned that we're going to be heading out and going to see our friends over at Garden View. They have 3 locations. One of them is in O'Fallon, Missouri. One's in the Valley Park area, and then one in Chesterfield. GardenViewCares.com. So assisted living, nursing home, rehab. These are the locations. And I mentioned how important it is to go and a tour of Garden View. Instead of just letting me talk about it, go and see that this is maybe the community that is waiting there for you, right? Instead of waiting to the very, very end where you're really, really sick and you're trying to get into a place, put your name on the list so that you have that sense of, okay, I'm going to be okay. Or maybe it's a loved one, right? You go and you take that important step to take care of yourself. The other thing is, if you haven't taken care of yourself, meaning the stretching aspect, please do so. We're talking about all the incredible people that make this show happen. This is Exist Stretch. So we have friends. That's a fun, by the way, that was on with us last week. This is Jim. All of us have been there. Our lives have been changed because of getting on that table. And I know a lot of you are like, okay, I just haven't experienced it yet. I didn't know how much it could change my life. So Tim and Trisha and Claire and Justin are waiting for you. Yeah, a little massage feeling and then incredible stretching to unlock the power of where your body can truly be. Where are they located? In the St. Louis Hills area on Hampton, 5605, and inside of Exist Fitness in Arnold. Check them out, existstretch.com. All of these shows happen, almost 1,000 shows, by the way, thanks to all of you that are watching and all of these incredible people. I will talk about this a little bit later on this week. We're going to get into our Wellness Wednesday tomorrow. Where do you want, think about this, and you can write me separately, come up with ideas. Where would you like to celebrate together for the 1000 show? And it is together as a community. We're not going to do this where we're just broadcasting and you're not a part of it. Boss Beauty and Wellness, hello to you over on Instagram. Hope you're having a great start to your day. All of you, if we didn't get a chance to say hi to you, I will look after the show wraps up and make sure that you are heard. If you're watching on replay, you couldn't watch the live show, let me know. And then feel free to comment to anything we talked about today. We talked a lot here in the last about hour and a half. Okay, where would you like our 1000 show to be? And what would you like that to look like? Coming together as a community as we get into fall, latter part of fall, probably sometime in mid-November. We're thinking maybe Florissant, Missouri. I'm thinking maybe Festus, Missouri, talking about going back to my roots, where I grew up, which was Florissant, where I started my career, which is in Festus, or maybe giving a little love to both. I'd love to hear from you because, again, this is where we bring all of us together. We celebrate past guests, past musical guests, people who really changed your life. And I'm actually going to ask you, who would you like to see at that show? Okay, so in November, we got a little time, but not a ton. Come back to Sunset Overlook. We'll go back there, but I'm going to give some love to other businesses. I do need to get back there, though, by the way, and enjoy because it's a great place. So Sunset Overlook over in Columbia, Illinois. Start weighing in, folks. We're going to start making that decision probably by the end of August so we can get everything ready. Can't wait to see you. All right, love you all so very much. Thank you. Tomorrow, Wellness Wednesday on tap. Thursday, beautiful spotlight on Kaufman Outdoors. Friday, Foodies Festival. Oh, it's amazing. Foodies eat first. Braden's coming on with us. Chef Bailey's coming on with us, as well as Jerry Stampson from Salmonies and Salmonies Sweets, and then Chef Bailey and Company. It's going to be a great week as we round things out. And for the next couple of days, do me a favor. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. It's going to be crazy hot. Show kindness to each other, right? That's the most beautiful thing we can do. Believe and be kind. God bless you all. I'll see you in the morning.
The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch in Wildwood.